Good morning, everybody. This is Lisa Lashendro. I am one of the annuity sales directors here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services, and I love seeing all these names. I've looks like I've got several new names that I don't recognize. So if this is your first webinar with us here at IMS, welcome aboard. And then those that are returning, folks that I see here already working and partnering with IMS, welcome back. Always love to see your names here. I want to go ahead and get started. I've got Austin Eller with North American. He is the regional director for annuities over at North American, and he's going to go over the best income product industry wide with an A plus rated carrier. So I know that rating means a lot to folks these days, and he'll get into that in a little bit. But for the respect of all your time here, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, welcome to those of you that are new to IMS and just starting to get to know us. And I want to kind of go over a few perks that you get with IMS, some of the things that you don't see with a lot of IMOs, and I want to make sure I'm sharing that with you. For those of you that are already working with us, this might be a good reminder if there's something here that sparks your interest that you're not taking advantage of. Definitely don't hesitate to get a hold of your director, your sales director, marketer, anybody, Steve Murray himself, if you want, and take advantage of these things. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And right out of the gate, when you get contracted with us in the first 6 months or 180 days, what you get to a level of production, and that level starts at the $100,000 level range, and this is on annuity production primarily. It goes all the way up to $1 million. Obviously, if you do more than $1 million, I'm not gonna stop you by any means. Especially, right? I mean, if it's North American, I mean, I don't think Austin cares too much. He would encourage it, but anyway, obviously, the more production you write in your first 6 months with IMS, the sweeter the deal. So these are just ideas of things that you would hit. Maybe it's just $750 worth of cash that you want us to cut you a check once you hit that $100,000 level, or you hit the $750,000 level, and maybe it's a seminar, or maybe it's webinars or leads or website development or anything really. And I'll get into our creative team here in a minute, but we have in-house talent that is on our payroll that does all these things for you. And this is where your relationship with your marketer becomes very important, because instead of just throwing a whole bunch of ideas at the wall and see what sticks, we're going to get to know you a little bit, really talk about what your strengths are, what maybe some goals that you want to hit, and we have all the marketing resources at our fingertips available to help you with that. With this new producer bonus, does is it helps you with the cost. It's just our thank you to you for starting your partnership here with IMS, and let you know that we're in it with you. Next, one of the best compliments I think you can get in any sales in business or industry is a referral. So you build your business on our referrals. We love to, get those as well. But what we do that's a little bit different is that we're gonna say thank you to you by always giving you that override, whether it's life business, indexed annuity business, SPL business. We're gonna give you a slight override for any of that business that comes in the door because of your introduction to IMS. So um, just a little, tidbit. If you've got somebody, a partner or a counterpart or a buddy that's also in the business, and you value the partnership that we provide you, jot their name down, shoot them over to us, have them give us a call, and we'll be sure to list them as a referral. It doesn't cut a penny off of what they would make on commission. This is not taking down their commission level. This is strictly a check that Steve rights to you on a quarterly basis for that business that came in. We're going to give you a little thank you. So if you have any questions on that or somebody in mind, jot their name down. And when I follow up with you, let me know and we'll do that introduction. One thing a lot of folks here can attest to is our back office support. And this is really one of the main reasons why people love to work with IMES is because we have that creative team to help you with the creative side and the marketing side. We have our back office new business team. And if you hate sitting on the phone for an hour waiting for a carrier to give you status, that's what we do for you. We want to provide you with all the back office support so that you are standing in front of people. You're talking to people. We want you doing what you do best, and that's sales. Let us do all the legwork and the paperwork for you. So if you have any questions on how our back office support works, just let me know. Talking about support, our website is a huge resource for you guys. You don't even have to be contracted with us to utilize it. Um, I encourage everybody to save this website to your browser if you haven't already. It's www.imesinc.com. Here you have term quoters, you have access to Annuity Rate Watch to get all the current rates. See where North American is listed on top for income. You can also get forms, marketing materials, all sorts of things. And on top of that, you get Firelight, which is one of the best e-app programs out there. If you are not utilizing an e-app program or Firelight or nervous to get started on that, I walk people through that all day long and I'm happy to do it because I know I haven't had one agent come back to me and say, Lisa, this is ridiculous. I'm going back to paper apps. Not one. Um, this is Firelight is going to help you make sure that you're pulling the correct forms. It's going to help save you from missing a spot or missing a question on an application. And I don't know about you, but when I was an agent, the last thing I wanted to do was go get new signatures or new dates on an app. Hated it. Firelight is going to help eliminate those situations for you. And from a carrier point of view, I'm sure Austin can chime in here and give his 2 cents.
Absolutely. I can't say enough about Firelight and e-applications. I will say those of you who are, I'm sorry, using paper applications right now and are a little hesitant to use an e-application, it goes a long way. Like Lisa had said, it pulls in every specific piece of paperwork that is needed on every application. So if it's a replacement, it's going to make sure that you have every specific uh, paperwork that's needed for a replacement. A lot of the times, too, what happens for those of you who don't know, certain states actually will require replacement forms even when it is not a replacement. There are a select amount of states that do that. And sometimes when people write a policy in a state that they're not familiar with, they will actually miss out on that and then later run into an issue. With an e-application, you don't run into issues like that because those forms will automatically be pulled in. And what I always say is if you're hesitant to use it for the first time, I'll be honest, the first time it may take you an extra 10 to 20, maybe even 30 minutes just to get used to it because it's your first time using the platform. But from there on out, once you're comfortable with it, it's a very nice, smooth process. And I'd rather have an extra 20 to 30 minutes on the front end rather than dealing with the hassle on the back end, whether that be you need another form or you need to get new signatures because you missed a blank on the application. And it just reduces NIGOs by a tremendous amount. NIGOs are reduced by more. They're cut by more than half when you use an e-application. So a lot of good things about an e-app, and it just makes processing times for us here at the home office a lot easier and faster.
Yep. Thanks for adding those things in. The processing time is imperative because you're going to get that application, and a lot of carriers, and North America might even be one of them if I remember correctly. But when you submit an e-app, it goes right through to suitability versus a paper app. It takes an extra step. So you're
Yep.
getting your
Correct.
application, to the top of the line by doing an e-application. And obviously, the sooner you have the app approved, the sooner you get paid, the sooner your client gets their policy. So very important. Austin, thanks for the 2 cents, 3 cents there. You always fill in the blanks for me, and I appreciate you, man. Okay.
Absolutely.
So next, as we're moving along here, like I mentioned, I talked a little bit about our creative marketing solutions. Those folks that we have on our creative marketing team are so talented. It shocks me how quickly and how easily they're able to put together a website or a logo, or maybe it's just a customized newspaper post or clipping or brochure customized for our agents. I've had them do lawn signs for one of my guys that does a lot of workshops, having that lawn sign with his logo and everything else on it can help drive some more traffic. But yeah, if you have any questions on our creative marketing solutions, let me know and I'll be happy to get that over to you. Next, I would love to introduce to you all our IMS Wealth Management team. And why I talk about this, I'm going to go ahead and launch a poll because this is something that a lot of people want um, to get more information on. So while I talk about this, please do select if you are interested in having Duncan Smith over there or someone to reach out to you. But basically, there's two different things I love about IMS Wealth Management. One, if you are a registered rep and you want a lower cost and you want that A+ service that you get from us here on the life and annuity side, you're going to get the same back office support, website support, compliance support. And from what I understand, it's very competitive as far as the cost goes in utilizing IMS Wealth Management. Um, I've seen them do things as, mailing paperwork, overnighting paperwork, helping you complete paperwork. I mean, really, they do the full 9 yards for you there. Um, so that's if you're already registered. Make sure you select yes, and Duncan will reach out to you and answer any additional questions. Now, here's what I think says a lot about IMS Wealth Management. If you are not registered, and I don't know about you, but when I was an agent, before I had my securities license, I had to bring somebody else in on that deal. And when I brought somebody else in on that deal, they wanted their piece on the annuity, on the life stuff as well. So not only did I not get paid on the securities, but I had to share my revenue with the other applications that I wrote with that client. And that's no fun because I didn't need their help there. But gotta do the right thing for your client, and if they need to be in the market, then that's where they need to be. Um, what IMS Wealth Management offers is if you are not registered and you need help with a securities aspect of um, those clients' needs, you can reach out to them and they will assist you with that. They will stay away from any other sales. They won't ask to touch any of the fixed product sales at all. And here's the kicker. If you decide to get registered, they're going to transfer that client back to you. I don't know anybody that would do that. If my brother was the securities agent and I wasn't, he wouldn't even transfer them back to me. So I just think that says a lot about IMS Wealth Management. If you're interested in either, option A, option B, or if you're interested in getting registered and getting your license, Duncan Smith can help you with that as well. So thanks everybody for voting. I'm going to go ahead and close that poll and move on. Now, we do credit trips, and right now, I think the double credits is off the table. I think we're starting fresh for the new year. So sorry, this slide is not updated. But our next top producer trip is going to be our seaside sanctuary. And it takes 4.5 million points to qualify. Now that's going to be life business, that's going to be annuity business. I believe it's everything except for MIGA business. We've got until the end of this year to qualify. And once in a while, Steve might even offer double trip credits, like you see here. I believe those are off the table at the end of December. But if you have any questions on our top producer trips, want to join the fun in South Carolina, then let us know and be happy to get you that brochure or any additional information. And we are a marketing organization, so Avi, we're going to have Facebook and LinkedIn. If you haven't already participated in our Facebook or LinkedIn and kept on top of the news within our industry, I encourage you to do so. And with that, Austin, are you ready to share your screen?
I sure am. Absolutely.
Because you're really who people came to hear. I mean, it's not my voice.
Oh, I wouldn't
It's
say
the
that. I
it's the
wouldn't say that. You're
Austin
giving me too much credit. Are you able to see it?
voice. Yes, sir.
Awesome. I know last time I ran into some issues. I'm not the most technologically advanced guy in the room, but
You're
glad we
all
got it
good,
working
buddy.
right away.
Yeah.
Awesome. First off, thank you, Lisa. It's always a pleasure getting on these and sharing the North American story. For those of you who don't know, my name is Austin Eller. I am the sales vice president here at North American that covers IMS. Great group to work with. Cannot say, enough about everyone there. Lisa, the whole team. They do tremendous work, and very, very happy with the partnership that we have with them. Um, I will skip the page with my ugly mug there. Today, what I want to focus on, I'm going to focus on our Income Pay Pro product, which is right now number one in terms of guaranteed income in plenty of different areas, plenty of different age brackets, deferral years, etc. Right now, you're going to see actually as of yesterday, we did increase our roll up percentage, which put us at number one in even more categories than where we were before. So if you're looking for a product built for guaranteed lifetime income for your clients that can create that pension for them for the remainder of their life, this is a product that you'll want to look into. And I truly find that in many different scenarios, you're going to see us atop the list in terms of the guaranteed amount that we'll provide that client. And then towards the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch on our income expedition brochure. That is a brochure that looks at several different risks throughout retirement and how a product like the Income Pay Pro or a guaranteed lifetime income product can kind of offset those risks that you associate with retirement. So first, when it comes to the Income Pay Pro, this is a 10-year surrender charge period, issue ages 40 through age 79, $20,000 minimum with a modified single premium. What do I mean by a modified single premium? That means you can add money to it within the first contract year, but the first contract year only. So there's the specs. But really, when it comes to this product, I like to break it down into three different points, right? And remember, I'd mentioned that this product is built for guaranteed lifetime income. So a lot of the times when I'm talking, I'm going to be focused on the income base on this product, the value that provides the guaranteed lifetime income or the rider that provides the guaranteed lifetime income. I like to break it down into three main points here: the design of that rider, the growth of that rider, and then the additional protection that that rider provides the client. First, so this rider is built in day one. It's not optional. It comes with the product at a 1.15% fee. You may look at that fee, not be too fond of it, I guess you could say. But truly, if you look at the income that this product provides, a lot of the time that fee, becomes essentially obsolete because you're not necessarily worried about what you're paying in fees. It's more so about the amount of income that you are getting every year and offsetting all of those retirement costs that you have. We have increasing or level income options, and those income options are going to be available immediately, day one. When it comes to growth of this rider, you're going to have indexing options between Morgan Stanley, Fidelity, and S&P. Growth of the account value are going to be powered by those indexes. 9 of them are in uncapped. Four of them are volatility controlled indexes. And we'll touch a little bit more on those here towards the end of my presentation on what those rates are currently set at and what we can expect or the historical returns we've seen within those indexes. For the growth of the rider or the benefit base, we give you an 8% guaranteed roll up each and every year. So that's compounded every single year. So day one, if you put in $100,000, that roll up is going to roll up at 8% compounding each and every year from there on out. And then a few different things or a few additional protections that this rider gives the client. One, we have an LPA reserve. So what that means, you'll see to the right of that at the bottom, defer all or a portion of each LPA for future needs. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is that you are able to, as a client, if in any given year you don't need the full income that is given to you or that is guaranteed that year, you can defer a portion of it and then actually set it aside in what we call the reserve and then take that extra money at any point in time. So if, for example, if I'm guaranteed $10,000 this year because I've turned on the income rider, for whatever reason, I think I only need 8,000. I can set aside that remaining 2,000 that I don't need into the reserve. I like to call it a bank. And you can take that money, that extra $2,000 at any point in time down the road with no surrender charges. We also have a lifetime payment amount nursing home doubler or multiplier. We will double your income for a maximum of up to 5 years. And then spousal continuance. If the client passes away before they turn on income, the spouse, as long as they're the sole primary beneficiary or the joint annuitant on the contract, they could choose to continue that contract and then turn on income at any point in time that they would choose to. So with there being an 8% compounded roll up on this each and every year,
Hey,
essentially what it
Austin,
comes
can
down.
I s-
Yeah,
can I
absolutely.
interrupt you just a second and go back to that slide? So with this
Absolutely.
one, I've get, a lot of, so we don't have to decide what they're going to do at the time of application.
Correct.
Okay, I want to
Correct.
point that out to you guys. Most income annuity products, you got to know exactly what you want to do at the time of application. You got to know if you're going to have it as a joint or if you're going to have it as a single payout. And what I love about this product is it gives you, because nobody's got the crystal ball. I don't know, if I want, something happens with my husband or whatever, and I want to have that joint payout. Obviously your payout's going to be a smidge less with a joint versus single. So you get all of that flexibility to really hit what those clients needs at the time that they want to turn on that income. And I just wanted to emphasize that.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, like Lisa had said, so let's say if you have a 5-year wait, you're 62 and you start this product and you're going to wait 4 to 5 years to turn on income, a lot can happen in 4 to 5 years, right? An unfortunate event where maybe the spouse of one of the clients has passed away. And initially it set it up with the purpose of doing a joint income. Obviously, at that point in time, if that, unfortunate event had happened, they would be able to choose single. And then maybe they'd choose a different option when it came to level or increasing because of those different circumstances as well. So thank you for pointing that out. It is a tremendous feature that allows flexibility for the client, not having to decide those until they turn on that income.
Yep.
Now, with there being the 8% compounded roll up on this product, really what it comes down to is taking your income base on this product times a particular payout percentage. And that payout percentages you will see here. So if I'm going to wait, so for example, if I'm 60 years old and I'm going to wait 5 years to turn on income, what you'll see here is you'll start with, hypothetically speaking, you start with $100,000 in your account. Each and every year you get the 8,000 or the 8% compounded roll up. At age 65 here, let me see if I can get my pen out. You will see that on a single level payout, we have a 6.65% payout factor. That is pretty dang high right now for industry payout factors. So we can tell your client day one, whether it's a 1-year deferral, 3-year deferral, 5-year deferral, 10 years, however long it may be, we can tell them exactly what their income would be 5 years from now based on a single payout, joint payout, increasing, and level. So you'll see 4 columns. Reason why you're seeing 4 different columns is because at the top here, you have your level payments built out by single or joint, and then you have your increasing payments built out by single or joint. So the nice thing, like I had mentioned, is you can go into this product, and even if your client doesn't know if they're going to choose the single or joint or the level or increasing, you can tell them all of those exact numbers as to what they will be 1 year from now, 3 years from now. And those numbers will not change because that roll up is guaranteed and these payout factors are guaranteed as well. So when you run an illustration, that number that you illustrate in terms of guaranteed income 2 years from now will be that number based on what option they're going to choose, which is awesome. So they know exactly what it's going to be. It's not a participating income story where it could be this if you get X amount of returns, but your floor is X, right? This is a product where you know exactly what you're going to get. Therefore, that's why you're actually seeing such strong income numbers on this, because we can price it, and those numbers are not going to change.
And I'll tell
Now, when
you,
it comes to the
there's some other. I'm sorry, Austin. I get a passion
hey,
here. Um,
you're fine. I love it.
when you, so I'm talking to some folks about some of the competing, income products with, um, some other A-rated carriers. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to get in trouble, but they've got these huge participation rates, these 3-year participation rates and things like that. The problem is that it's not guaranteed. So what's happened in the market the last year? I mean, do you really want to, place your bets on, hopefully the market does well so I can get that lifetime income that is hypothetically going to be at that rate of return? So that's a big deal when it comes to these. When you're looking and comparing income products, don't you want to make sure you're looking at, is this going to be a hypothetical income or is this going to be, a guaranteed income? And there's a big difference between the two. So if you're new to annuities and looking at income payouts, make sure you think about that when you're making that choice for your client.
Thank you for pointing that out, because you made a good point. If you would, and I'm not here to down talk participating income stories or participating income products. We here at North American have one too, right? And it's very competitive as well with our
Hmm.
benefit solutions product. But two, it's also kind of based on what you as the agent and the clients, what they think is best. Because if you think about a participating income story, if you would have issued one 1.5 years ago with the thought that my client is going to turn on income 2 to 3 years down the road. If you look at a year and a half, 2 years down the road, if you issued one of those products, well, that hypothetical that you gave them was all based on that last 10-year return. Well, the last year and a half with indexes haven't been so great because the markets haven't been great. So all of a sudden, you may lose out 2 out of 3 years of growth in a situation like that. So it's just kind of that toggling back and forth. And obviously,
Hmm.
some people like to take that risk with knowing, hey, this is a hypothetical number. But the awesome thing about this is if the number that you see on our illustration meets that client need, you can know for a fact that, hey, when we go to turn this on, that income number is going to meet that client need. And maybe we throw away all the other options and we don't want to roll the dice. We want to know exactly what we're getting. So thank you, Lisa. That was a great point there.
Hmm.
Now, here are the indexing options. One thing to keep in mind, these indexing options have no real, what's the word that I'm looking for? They don't have any association with the income base that generates the income. But at the end of the day, it's still nice to have your account value grow at a solid rate, because as you're drawing out income, your account value is going to deplete. And if your account value is your death benefit, you still want that to hang around as long as it possibly can, too. So here you'll see on the left-hand column, we'll have all of our different indexing options to choose from. And there, to the column to the right, so the second column, you'll have the declared rates on each and every one of these products, or indexes, I'm sorry. So you'll see here, we have a 2.5% fixed account, 5% cap on the monthly point to point. Our most popular indexing options are the Fidelity Index and then the Morgan Stanley Index, whether that be in a 1 year point to point or a 2 year point to point. So if you go out over here, you have some pretty significant or pretty high participation rates for an income story, anywhere between 105 to 155%. And then if you go to these far right 3-hand columns, it shows you their returns based on the last 10 years, the highest ever 10 years, and then the lowest ever 10 years as well. Now you'll see some pretty solid numbers here with those Fidelity and Morgan Stanley. 5.84, 7.47, 8.02, 10%. So even in a product that's built, purely for guaranteed income, we're still going to give you indexes that can provide solid growth within that account value and keep that account value, steady as a death benefit. Obviously, a lot of the times you get an income rider with the purpose of, if I outlive my money, I still want that income to be there. But also, it's still nice to have an account value that's going to grow at a steady pace and provide solid growth within that value as well. So with that being said, to recap the Income Pay Pro real quick, it's a product built for guaranteed lifetime income. When it comes to the account value growth, you're going to have all of these different indexing options here. But then the sole purpose of it is that income base that grows by an 8% compounding. And then you, at that point in time that you turn on income, you can choose level, increasing, single, or joint, whatever those would be. And then what we do is we take that income base times the payout factor, depending on the option that you choose. And then that income becomes guaranteed for life. And we have the nursing home multiplier, where if you are confined to a nursing home, we will double it. Now, with that being said, I real quickly here want to recap. These are slides on our income expedition brochure. I'll go through them relatively quickly, and then I will just breeze through the actual brochure here that is orderable at North American. So if you guys are ever in need of these, let us know, whether it be Lisa or our sales team here, myself, whoever it may be, we can get some sent out to you. And I'll go through it here real quick, just kind of the purpose of it. It's looking at guaranteed lifetime income and how that can help offset risk associated with retirement. So we all know, right? Imagine you decide to climb up a mountain. How would you prepare, right? I actually, believe it or not, I hiked Camelback Mountain within the last several weeks. It's my first time hiking up a mountain. And I figured the way up would be the hardest part. Believe it or not, coming down was, I think, actually slightly harder, because you're having to balance your way down, right? You're walking on a downward slope. You're kind of leaning back to get your balance. And oh, by the way, I spent the last hour climbing up a mountain, so my legs are sore, right? So the thought of this brochure is, thinking of a mountain and your working years, that's kind of your way up the mountain and preparing your way to get to retirement. Once you get into retirement, have you prepared for the way down, right? When you're going to start drawing assets from your portfolio, and are you going to make it? The road to retirement is a similar adventure, and that's kind of the sole purpose of this income expedition brochure. And it focuses on the main risks associated with retirement. You have market volatility risk, right? What years do you retire? If the first few years within retirement were 2007, if you retired in 2007 and the first thing you experience is market volatility in 2008 and 2009, that can be very detrimental. Another thing that we have here is longevity risk. If you are a person that, I don't know, even to be honest, what the average age that people live to nowadays is, but if you live well past the average age, are you going to be able to outlive, or are you going to be able to have that money outlive, your retirement, I guess you could say. The drawdown dilemma: could a sequence of return deplete your client's savings? Like we see here, what you see is you see two different sequences of returns. You see, and I'll kind of highlight what we're looking at here. And to be honest, the brochure does a little bit better job of doing it. We have an account value starting at 500,000 here, just several years prior to this line right here. So you see the black line, or the dark green line up top, and then the line light green on bottom. Just several years, a difference of 2 years. And what they're doing is they're starting with the same value and taking out the same amount of income each and every year, but just a difference in 2 years made a huge difference. And this light green line runs out of money in 2013, whereas this dark green line still has money, 8 years later in 2011, and still hasn't ran out. All right, let me move to the next page. Sorry, messing with my drawings here. And this here, what it does is actually it puts it in number format for you there. Does the exact same thing, where a person retires in 2 different years, one in 1998 and the other 1997, the other just several years later in 1999. And what it does is this shows you the difference that can make, using the same amount of income to start, or the same amount of money to start with, and then the same amount of withdrawals to end with. Right. So what I'm going to do inside of this too, it has an income needs review where you can fill out the client information. Now, give me 2 seconds here. I'm just going to pull up the brochure to make it a little bit easier. So what this will do is this will come in a nice brochure. What you are seeing on the screen, I know it's not perfect, but this is going to be the front and the back side, right? It's going to be folded. So when you're looking at this, think of it being folded, and it's going to be like a brochure that you can turn page by page. And then throughout it, it just talks about risks that are associated with retirement. It has that scenario A and B there, right? Volatility risk and or sequence of returns risk. Scenario A on the right-hand side of this page, bottom right, if you're looking at this, is that client that retired in 1997. And then scenario B, client that retired in 1999, but they just see two drastic differences in retirement. And an income annuity like the Income Pay Pro would offset those risks that you're seeing. Longevity risk. It shows the simplest scenario here where client lives to actually 92, but their money ran out at age 87. And then you have that income needs brochure, and then and then another thing here too at the bottom right. It talks about the different types of guaranteed income or participating income that you'll see within income rider products today. So just a very neat educational piece that you can provide to your clients. Um, you know, about the differences that an income rider product can provide, and just also how an income rider gets rid of those different types of risks. So, Lisa, that is all that I have here today. I don't know if you had anything you wanted me to bring up or anything like that, but
Yeah, I'm
happy to
gonna,
answer those now.
yeah, great presentation. This particular uh, presentation was on the Income Pro. We also have on our website where Austin and I talk about their benefit solutions product and their Prime Path products. So one of the benefits you have working with us here at IMES is that we're going to talk to you about your client's case, and then we're going to be able to, lead you into the right direction as to what client or what product at North American would maybe be the best fit that we would want to focus on. So Austin's always available. I'm just kind of curious how many, because we've got so many people on this webinar, how many of you guys are already contracted with North American and you already utilizing their annuity products? So I appreciate the feedback here. Just kind of curious. Looks like there's quite a few, Austin.
Awesome. Well, that's always good to
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. Appreciate you guys answering that one. I have one last poll here. Um, for those of you that do want if you are not already contracted with North American and you want to get that done, select yes here, and I'll be sure to get you contracting over to you. If you are looking for an illustration, if you have a client in mind, jot their name down, jot their information down right now. I'll follow up with you guys in the next day or so, and make sure we get that illustration over to you and answer any specific questions that you have on this product. Um, what else am I missing to say? Oh, yes. I will also be sending you guys all a copy of this webinar. So if you ever want to go back to it and listen to Austin again, um, you know, really become that specialist on this income product, you certainly have access to that. I'm also going to include that brochure, the product brochure, and I'll get that piece that he just showed you as well, and you can have an electronic version of that. With that, I don't think I have anything else. I'll go ahead and close this poll. I think we're ending. Man, we knocked this one out of the park, Austin. We
We did. We gave them some time back in their
won
day.
20 minutes early. Well, that's good news for you guys. So you can start getting on the phones, getting with your clients. I look forward into meeting those of you that are this is your first webinar with us here at IMES. For those of you that are returning, I see, yep, there's Don and Drew, and hey guys, welcome back. Um, so if you have any specific questions or want to get a hold of us right away, this is our number, 800-255-5055. It is the only number that you need at IMES. One of the things that you get with us is that there is no answering service, or you don't hit 5 for accounting and 2 for new business. Nope, you get a live body that answers the phone in the first 2 or 3 rings here at IMS. You'll always get your answer. And that's our goal is for you to get that answer the first time you call in. So give us the test drive on that. I guarantee we won't let you down. And with that, everybody, have a wonderful day. Austin, appreciate you as always, sir. And
Absolutely.
we'll see y'all next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Bye bye.